And we are live. We are back. Welcome in, everybody. Welcome in, Nimbus. Hail, how are you? How are you doing? Welcome in, being an awesome mod. We are joined today by John's Longbox, who's here to talk to us about his Heroic Tales #1 over on From My Comic Quit that will soon be launching on Kickstarter. He's got quite a few goals that have been completed, and he's got some trading cards that are on the way that go along with his campaign. Hopefully, trading cards that everyone will appreciate, as I'm sure it is very hard work from the artists themselves. And here to talk to you about it is John's Longbox. Say
hey,
hello.
How you doing, Renzo? Thanks for having me here on short notice. I've been like soliciting everybody. Anybody want to host me? Anybody want to host me? And just yesterday you said yes. So thanks a lot for accommodating.
Oh yeah, no problem.
So, Master Hobo says, greetings from the homeless shelter. Can't wait to see a beardless John in the future. Yes, I made a joke, but it's not a joke, that if my comic hits 50,000, I'll shave live, right from the barber chair. As the barber's
I've seen people do that. That's actually really interesting.
Yeah, that'll be funny. So yes,
people have asked me before how much it would take to shave mine, and I said it would take 1,000 Twitch subs to do it.
Oh wow! We were talking before we went live. That is a serious beard. Like you've seen the Cheers episode with the beard displacement when they were testing the beard. Your beard definitely hold the most beard.
But as I said, yours has experience. Mine has only been around for so long.
Yeah, mine's filled with dirt from work. But anyway, yeah. First off, thanks for having me on. I guess, I'm promoting my comic, Heroic Tales. And yes, I have some stretch goals. I just sent Nick X I have the art for the front of the cards done already. We had that done with Renzo and Daniel, my artist and colorist. They got them all done. So for the next, every time we hit another 1,000, I'm releasing another card. But it was the artwork in the back was holding up because I've been holding out because I wanted the back of the cards to have the art, to have the game mechanics from a role-playing game called Villains and Vigilantes. Villains and Vigilantes is a role-playing game that I've been playing since I was a little kid. It came out I think 83, 84 by Jeff D, Jack Herman, and Scott Bizarre of Fantasy Games Unlimited. And it was the first superhero role-playing game that I knew about, and I became obsessed with it. Matter of fact, I'm playing it this Sunday with my buddies. I still play. And I wanted to put the stats on the card. And Scott Bizarre was difficult to get in touch with, the owner, and he finally responded to me. Like I was just about to give up. And I said, let me try one more time. I emailed him out, and he said, yeah, sure. And then he said to me, hey, John, if you get to like 6 issues, let's work together and make a supplement for Villains and Vigilantes. I was like, a source book. I was like, oh my God, this went better than So yes, we're doing that right now. So we have the Patriarch card just about finished and Boss Moxie. So, and then for every 1,000, another character from the comic will be unlocked. But what should I just keep going? I could talk forever.
Yeah, of course. What I was gonna say is if you've ever heard of a game called City of Heroes or City of Villains, it was like an MMO where it's just like a bunch of heroes and villains where they could fight and you make your own hero.
Oh my God, that's a blast! Yes, they would, and it looked like Jack Kirby artwork, right?
Yeah.
Oh my God, I haven't thought about that in a long time. Now I want to go see if I can find it anywhere. Yeah, that was fun. Yeah, I remember it was a role. You could pick up garbage cans and throw the garbage cans at people.
Yeah.
Pick up that was fun. Yeah. Oh wow, that blows my mind.
Interesting enough, if you ever heard of the YouTuber named Neurotic, he talks about that quite frequently. He talks about that was a game he used to play a lot.
Oh, okay. I know Neurotic. We follow each other. Yeah. Yeah. Does he does YouTube? I'll ask, see if he's interested in talking.
Of course he does YouTube. He's million subs.
Oh, he does. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
I'm in my own little bubble here. We were talking. We were talking before we went live about how I just read my comics and stay out of all the nonsense that's going on.
Right. As far as like mainstream comics, I've been picking up Thundercats. So. Oh,
okay. What other new stuff do you get? Because I make videos every once a month of like my monthly comics, because I order online and get them all sent to me. So I still do get new monthly comics.
Okay, that's interesting.
Yeah, there's some good.
I'm hearing that Ultimate Spider-Man's good. I haven't read it myself, but I'm hearing a lot of good things about it.
Yeah, people have been raving about that. My problem with Jonathan Hickman is he never finishes. I don't know if he gets bored and moves on, but like I love this Fantastic Four run, and then he just left. He did like a series, the Illuminante, and he never really finished it. Then he did the X-Men Krakoa and left. And
that's a problem that Yellow Flash actually has with him.
Oh yeah,
the exact same thing.
Yeah. I really like him. He's really interesting. He did a really good Fantastic Four is my favorite comic of all time. So I really like the art by what's his name? Chris Sprouse, I think it was, and McGinnis. But they did it was just great. But then all of a sudden he just left, and didn't finish the plot lines and stuff. So I don't know what his problem is, but when he's there, I like him. So for this Ultimate Spider-Man, I'm waiting. Can he do 10 issues?
Mm-hmm. I guess you could say he's like Valve, where Valve will make the two games of a series and then not make a third one, and it's like a running theme for them. They'll make for example, they'll make like Half-Life 1, 2, and then they won't make it 3, and then they'll do Left 4 Dead 1, 2, and then don't make it 3, and then they'll do Team Fortress 1, 2, and then don't make it 3. It kind of sounds like that, but in like the video game, sphere.
Oh, that's frustrating.
Yeah, everybody's like, "Where's Team Fortress 3? Where's Left 4 Dead 3? Where's Half-Life 3?" And they are now considered the company that's called the company that cannot count to 3. So, because none of their games have a 3.
I see Master Hobo says the current Transformer comics are great. Yeah, the Energon universe, and that's Robert Kirkman, if I remember correctly. I'm a big Mark.
Skybound, right?
Yeah, Skybound. I'm too old. I missed the Transformers were like my little brother's age. So when they came out, I was a little too old for them. So I never really, I missed the Turtles. I missed the Transformers. Definitely missed He-Man. So all that stuff. It was too old for me, but I'm just glad that everybody's got a comic that they could rave about that comes out monthly from a mainstream comic press. Gives people a reason to go to the comic book stores.
I bought King Spawn to keep up with it, and then never bought anything after the first issue because I don't know.
Oh, you didn't like it?
I just forgot to read it.
Oh, yeah, people.
I was like, I want to read it. Yeah, and I forgot to read it.
I got the first 100 issues of Spawn. I collected it when it first came out and lost interest, and then I bought like a full run on eBay of like 20 to 100.
They have the giant compendiums that they have the giant compendiums. Also, this great comic called Heroic Tales. Have you heard of it?
It's funny that you should mention that. That's the greatest comic of all time. Now, for those of you who don't know what I'm talking about, okay, I'll show this trailer here. How's that? This trailer, I must tell you, it was made by Phantasmagoria Girl. She just made it for me. I didn't ask her to, and then she said to me, "How nice is that?"
It's awesome. I like the music. See, now what you need to do is you need to make a long box that looks like your image.
Oh, the commercials on YouTube. What was that? What did you say? I got to make a what?
You should make a long box that looks just like your Twitter icon.
Yeah. Oh, make stickers of that. That was my friend Jimmy's. My friend Jimmy's daughter made that for me. She made a lot of logos for me over the course. She's I've been hiring her since she was 13 to make things for me. Now she's a tattoo artist.
That's awesome.
Now,
maybe one day she'll tattoo your main guy on you.
I managed to go 56 years without a tattoo. Maybe I'll go another 56.
Garfield's Bizarre Adventure says Ultimates by Mark Millar is probably his personal favorite comic book series.
Yeah, Mark Millar is probably the best current mainstream comic book artist going. Nobody loves the comics the way he does. He defends the medium. He cherishes the medium. He's just and he's successful and he stands up to the crowd, is which I admire. He's got his personal principles, and when people say this, he's not afraid to say, no, you're wrong, this, and then what are they gonna do about him? Cancel him? He's on.
They've tried plenty of times, especially when he liked he said I Saw Him is good.
Oh, Mark Millar said I Saw Him was good.
He said it was a step in the right direction.
Oh, cool. I didn't know that. Good from Mark Millar.
They went after him hard for that one. And I was like, oh man, that sucks for you guys. Can't do nothing.
And Garfield's Bizarre Adventure. What's my favorite part of the Fantastic Four? Ben Grimm. I know the joke. What's your favorite part of what? But Ben Grimm, the Thing, is my second favorite superhero. That's my representation. A horrible rock monster. That's
the greatest part of that joke is that's the shirt I'm wearing.
Oh, okay. You know what though? I think that's a valid question to ask anybody. What's your favorite part? Otherwise, I like Star Wars. Oh yeah, what was your favorite part of Star Wars? Oh, you're just saying we're talking about Star Wars. That's what people do. You know what I mean? Like Fantastic Four. What's your favorite thing in the Fantastic Four? How is that like a controversial thing to ask people? Oh, thank you. See, that's what I was trying to do. With Heroic, I wanted to make the premise is it started off as an anthology. So every issue was going to have a story about a different superhero that I created. I created a billion superheroes throughout this role-playing game. And then I realized people are liking the Patriarch. So from that going forward, there's going to be a Patriarch story, and then you're going to flip the book over, and there'll be another superhero. So it'll be a flip book. So it's going to have two covers from now on. But I want it to be like it's 1985, 1986. You could get some great Fantastic Four. You could get some great Michael Golden Micronauts, and you could get Avengers, and then Heroic Tales would be on the same track. So it's an all ages, not children's. There's a difference between all ages and children, but it's an all ages blue sky superhero book. The good guys are good. The bad guys are bad. Matter of fact, as I look at some of the artwork that came in the backup story, the bad guy might be a little too bad, but you'll see. So
Master Hobo says Mark Millar doesn't even get paid making comics. That's how much he loves comics.
Oh, really? He makes them. So I wonder if he just throws all the money. Well, he's got FU money. You know what I mean? And now he's got Hollywood money. So, but he really is like that's the dream. You got so much money. What are you gonna if I won the lottery or if this comic sold 1 million copies, I would quit my job and make more comics.
You working hard blue collar jobs.
Yeah, I'm a construction worker. Yeah,
it's all that. Yeah, I saw when you posted that one image wearing the hard hat and all that.
Oh yeah, and that's part of he was a blue collar worker before he got his powers. A couple of the superheroes are blue collar workers. There's of course a scientist, but I'm trying to make it like regular people in a superhero world who gets good superheroes. But the Patriarch,
relatable.
Yeah, the Patriarch. I got tired of like all the dads being made fun of and all the sitcoms and all the commercials. The dad's always the goof. The kids are rolling their eyes. So kind of as a joke, I was like, what would be like the most like controversial superhero? So I made up the Patriarch, and he has the male gate. But then the more I thought about it, the more I fell in love with this character. So it's and plus when you make things out of spite and you make things as a joke, they don't last. So the Patriarch, he's a loving father. He's a devoted husband. He's a beloved superhero. He's patriotic. Renzo put a lot of American flags everywhere. You know what I mean? This is the way like Stanley and Jack Kirby and the guys from DC they would make a character like this, a good guy superhero. Right. And one of the things that I want to talk about is he's not he dresses like Superman. That's a design. He's dead. He's putting on the airs that he's got everything under control. But you'll see when his cards come out, his powers are completely different than Superman, and he's vastly weaker than Superman. Like Spider-Man would give him a hard time, but that's just it. He that's what your dad does. Like you were a little kid, Christmas was coming. You knew you were getting presents, and then when you went to sleep, mom and dad were like, "Oh, geez, I maybe have to work at a couple extra shifts." Don't worry. You know what I mean? Right. Dad didn't let the kids know that there was problems, and that's going to be part of the comic. He has 7 children. His wife supports him, and the problem is you'll see in issue 3. I'm going to do his origin. His powers manifested in public, so he doesn't have a secret identity, and in a world with crazy supervillains, the family lives not hideaway, not but inaccessible, and nobody really knows their address, kind of thing.
Right.
A few people do, but you'll see why.
But don't you know nowadays you can't keep the origin as issue 3. It has to be issue 1. Don't you know that?
Yeah. It's funny because I was talking with and I said nobody cares about the origin of a character that you're not interested in yet. So the first issue, it's just hit the ground running. There's no Thanos, there's no Doctor Doom. It's just a superhero story. Bank robbers and supervillains and things like that. I still didn't spoil the main villain of the comic yet. There's got to be some surprise. I talk so much, I give away so much. So, but I will be building up.
Get one of those little paper NDAs over yourself.
I need one. I give away too many spoilers. But next issue, it's no secret already. Next issue 2, I'm introducing another character called Mary Sue. And then the third issue.
Oh no!
Yeah. It's.
You've already sold me.
It's perfect. I'll show you I'll get some of the images of Mary Sue while we're talking. But I'm playing with the concept of a Mary Sue, and you know what's funny? When I announced that, a couple of people got mad at me. That's a terrible idea. I think it's fun. I think everybody's gonna love Mary Sue. But that's issue number 2. And then issue 3, I'm not telling anybody the name of this character yet because it's so good that I'm afraid somebody will steal the concept. So, but issue number 3 is going to have like a Batman type. Issue number 4, I don't even want to tell you what it's going to be, but every issue is going to have the Patriarch, and then going. So, I'm just scrolling through everything to get. I might as well share Mary Sue.
Garfield says, "Hey John, would you ever consider creating a comic based on your time as the handyman in Marvel headquarters?"
It would be funny because it would just be me. Did anybody ever read a book called The Escapist? In The Escapist, there was a magician's club, and the main character wanted to get to the magician's club so bad, and when he finally got in, he was so disappointed because it was just a bunch of old men fighting over who's going to pay the bill, and you paid last time, and I blah blah blah. But when I finally got into Marvel, it was the carpets were dreary, the lights were out, people were whispering, there was too many people crowded in cubicles. Power. They kept calling me in because circuits kept blowing because they had they had a duplex outlet, and then they would put in, those power strips. They would have like 20 things powered off everything. It was just the most depressing. So if you want to read the most depressing story in the world, but the big story from that is they were having an editorial meeting, and I put the ladder in the middle of this meeting, and I'm up going through the ceiling tile. I'm making splices to run them a new circuit. And they're talking about, they're brainstorming for an event. Let's do this event for Marvel Comics. And they're like, how about the Inhumans? Yeah, the Inhumans, they debuted in the Avengers. And they're talking, and I'm like, no, didn't the event. Inhumans debuted in Fantastic Four, and like I just wanted to come off the ladder and correct them. You know what I mean? But like I don't think
that's what nerds do. We just want to correct everything.
Part of me wishes that if I had time machine, I'd go back, come off that ladder, and be like, "How are you the editor at Marvel Comics when you don't even know that Jack Kirby created the Inhumans in the pages of the Fantastic Four, not the, but
and now we are where we are, where they don't even read the comics at all.
Right.
Before, the guy who didn't know who Mephisto was,
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and Anakin blew up the Death Star.
Oh my god, that was a bad. I wanted to make fun of him so much.
Yeah.
Back,
If I was
Subject
in the slight bit still interested in Star Wars, that would have bothered me. I just think it's funny now. Batman's origin wasn't revealed till issue 6. Yeah, Doctor Strange's origin wasn't revealed until the 3rd issue. So the first issue, the Patriarch, he's already been a superhero for 20 years. He has 7 children. You're gonna see that. Then the second issue is going to be a little bit more of like family interaction and things like that. Then the 3rd issue is going to be the origin, and then the 4th issue is going to be the team up with Patriarch and the Batman type character. So the working title is The Bold and the Brave instead of The Brave and the Bold. Goofing on, and you know how Batman and Superman always fight.
Oh yeah,
well,
yeah.
It's going to be a Batman Superman fight that makes sense. There needs to be a reason why they fight, and we'll leave it at that. Again, I'm giving away too much.
The student God says there are not many people that talk about their comic like John.
Oh, thank you, student OG. Well, you know what? Because I actually love comics. I'm actually a crazy person. Like here, I'll show you. I got my spinner rack over there. I got,
I can show it.
Oh yeah, there's my spinner rack. I love comics. There's my refrigerator from all my Comicsgate and such, all the campaigns. I throw their stickers on there. And there's my bathroom. You can see where I do my business. I got my board games behind me. And well, now that I'm showing my comic book creds, I also have to show this picture. It's just obligatory. So I'll stop sharing the Mary suit, and I will show this picture. This is my comic book room. So this is right behind me. This is all my comics. It's funny because I'll go upstairs after reading comics and talking comics, and then I go upstairs, talk to my wife about comics, and she politely rolls her eyes and listens to me. It's Spider-Man, you're a 56-year-old man. You know what I mean? At work, they call me the comic book nerd. You know what I mean?
Right.
And my foreman, he's amused by me. He says, "Hey, John, what are you doing tonight?" I said, "Oh, we're playing Dungeons and Dragons. We need a wizard. You want to be a wizard with us?" And he just looks at me because I'm saying it in front of everybody. I go, "I'll start you at 7th level, and you can already cast Big B's grasping hand." And he just goes, "John, what the F are you talking about?"
Well, hopefully you're more knowledgeable on comics than the guy from Comic Book Man. You kind of look like that guy.
Yeah, worst episode ever. Yeah.
Like you can actually put the Mary Sue back up over shoulder.
Okay, I'll share that. Okay, so this is a.
And also, Master Hobo says the Patriarch is a self-insert. Look up the artist.
My self-insert will be debuting in issue 3. We just remember Augie Carmichael. So this is Mary Sue. She's going to be debuting in issue 2, and it's going to start with her origin because I'm going to explain how superpowers work through this character. So Mary Sue's premise is she's perfect. She's going to have, the name of this story is Endless Possibilities. And what she does is she could alter probabilities. So she's my response to the Scarlet Witch, how her powers should work. And if you alter probabilities, what she does is it's like the butterfly effect. So, I mean, if you're walking down the street, me and you are fighting, and Mary Sue uses her powers and a water main breaks, that doesn't really affect everything so much. Like she can't shoot laser beams. She could just cause the improbable to happen. But if she really stresses out, she could rewrite possibilities, but the bigger, if she goes back in time or what I mean, the bigger the consequence, the more ripples she'll cause. So, you know what I mean? So she's super smart. She's a Mary Sue. I'm goofing on the concept. I assume everybody knows what a Mary Sue is. Am I going over it too fast? Like a Mary Sue is usually in the 70s, somebody wrote a fan fiction of Star Trek, and they made a character called Mary Sue Kirk. This is where the term comes from. And Mary Sue Kirk was the daughter of Captain Kirk. And the writer's name was Mary Sue. I don't know what her real last name. And so it was a self-insert for herself. And Mary Sue Kirk was the most beautiful woman. She was the best fighter. She was the best captain. She was the best surgeon. Every other character just served as oh, Mary Sue, you're the best. You're the best. And that's where the term came from. And nowadays, we just any woman is a Mary Sue, whether they mean it or not. So I was just like, I want to make a character that owns the fact. So her name is Mary Sue, S-U. She's a Chinese. Her grandparents came to America fleeing the Mao's, her family's Roman Catholic. So they fled because of religious persecution, came to Flushing, Queens, opened up a corner deli, turned it into a supermarket chain. So she's rich. She's beautiful. She's very religious. She's perfect in her grandmother's eyes. That's the thing. She's perfect in her grandmother's eyes. She's a virgin. She doesn't drink. She's straight A student. She's got a PhD. That's how she's perfect. She's not perfect in that she's the girl boss. She knows she can't beat up a 6'2" man. You know what I mean? And then, oh, cool, Joe, you like her already. But I really like this character. Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. John is a real life Gary Stu. Yeah, Gary Stu is the male equivalent of Mary's. I wish. That would mean I'm perfect. And again, like I said, wait till issue 3. Argy Carmichael. That's my self-insert. You'll see her. What are John's thoughts on Batman vs Superman Martha scene where Batman decides stuff? You know what my thoughts are? I didn't see the movie. I know this is controversial to say, but after Man of Steel, I was done with the DC movies, because if Zack Snyder fundamentally misunderstood Superman, then Superman is the cornerstone of DC movies. If you misunderstand Superman, I didn't see any movies going forward. I saw Wonder Woman because my friends wanted to see Wonder Woman. That was excellent. But so I don't have any thoughts. You could live in those long boxes. Oh, cool. Just don't get my comics wrinkled. Some of them are expensive. Thank you, Halo.
I got another one.
Oh, you guys are so good. Renowned. You want to make a buddy show? You're good luck, man. Thank you.
I thought about making a buddy show with my friend LG, but like every Wednesday. But I haven't really thrown the idea to him yet. But,
thank you guys. Thank you guys.
Yeah, we'll pull it. That's
mine.
Yes,
so this. Oh, I thought you were pulling up the campaign. Yeah, so
I am. But that was me
contacted Renzo. Renzo is working with RJ from the Fourth Age. He's doing the Valiant Universe comics. And when I looked at those, I said, this art is so good. To me, it's like John Byrne and George Perez had a baby. My two favorite comic book. Wow, 150 guys. Oh man.
Oh yeah, look at that.
Honey, I'm not a loser.
No, you're not, indeed.
Thank you guys.
What were you at 143, I think?
I was at 147 this morning. So I think you got me 3 backers. Thank you guys.
There you go.
150 is just such a satisfying number. Thank you.
169. Okay.
So I just got tired of all the dads being the butts of all the jokes. So I wanted to make a dad, and again, make it a comic book character out of spite or out of parody or out of like the pop culture of those don't last. So I wanted to make a lasting and important character. And believe it or not, a lot of people, all kidding aside, have been private messaging me telling me they like the whole concept of a good dad. Like, he doesn't cheat on his wife. He flirts a little bit. Yeah, and I don't know if you've seen the old comics like Will Eisner's The Spirit or C.C. Beck's Captain Marvel, Shazam, and even Plastic Man. They always had this trope in the olden days where the male superheroes were always like being sought out by women and then running away. So I wanted to include that in this. He's a good looking guy. He's very charismatic. He's powerful. He's confident. He's rich also. He attracts a lot of women, but he's loyal to his wife. So he's always like, thank you, and flies away. Like that's a purpose nod to the old school comics, and scroll down. I'll talk about some of the art in here.
All right. And then Master Hobo says, John, your comic is the second ever book I backed on my comic. The first is Phenomenova by Von Cloud. There you go.
It's funny that you said that, because Vaughn and I were going to launch on the same day. And I said, I don't want to compete with Phenomenova. That looks so good. And believe it or not, Vaughn is the first guy from YouTube that I actually met in real life. He's a good guy. Me, Vaughn, Cecil, and Billy Tucci all hung out in a bar one night. It was awesome.
I saw that picture, yeah. And this would be the second comic I've funded on Flip.
Oh, thank you.
So I'll do that. I'll do that after. I actually just got paid, so you know,
Thank
I'll
you.
take care of that afterwards.
Oh, thank you guys.
I've been meaning to. I just haven't gotten around to it.
Yeah, I backed Phenomen over like the minute it launched. I
did as well. I got
so
the
good.
Keisha Ray and the Final Fantasy VII homage covers. He's going to be launching on Kickstarter. He's going to be launching a 5th cover on Kickstarter, though.
Yeah, it's funny because I asked him what day. I don't want to compete with you again.
Well,
So,
he was supposed to. I believe he was supposed to launch it yesterday or the day before.
Oh, good.
But he had to push it
so
back because I don't think the art was ready for the 5th cover. So
yeah, well, I have 2 covers. One of them's exclusive on Fund My Comic. You'll scroll down. I'm turning it to Zach. So this is the cover by Renzo.
Mm-hmm.
This is I call this the A cover. So this is, I hate to say basic because I love Renzo's art, but this is the normal cover. So this will be available through whoever. This is by Patriarch, one of my. Yes, scroll down.
Okay. Right.
So this is Renzo. This is the first variant cover. This is exclusively on Fund My Comic. So you'll only be able to get this on Fund My Comic, and that's by Pat Broderick, one of my favorite comic book artists of all time. He for those of you who don't know, he's working with Mike Barron right now doing Bronze Star. I just love his artwork. So good. Look at the little, I don't know what you call it, cross hatching or stitching or the dots. Oh, it's so good. And what a great guy to work with. It's like working with Sam Elliott from what's that movie or any movie. Sam Elliott. He's just this old cowboy looking guy. He's so cool. Yeah, Renzo is not basic. He's the greatest. You're absolutely right. And then this picture, I can't. This is probably one of my, not probably. This is one of my favorite comic book panels in the history of comics. I was coming home from work one day on the train. You telling me that you used to live in New York, so I don't know. If
I know all about that.
So I'm coming on the Long Island. Like, go back. I'm still talking about
Sorry, I was just trying to make it bigger so they can see it more.
I was coming home on the train and I was like, I really don't want the back cover to be an ad for the printer, which printers deserves. But so I'll pay a little extra and I want to put something on the back cover. Now, what do I want to put? So I want to put a full cover, a full page of what is this comic about? It's about family. He's a dad. That's his farm. Those are his kids. Scroll down a little bit so you can see all of his kids. His wife on the bottom. You see that? You see the woman in the pink? That's his wife. That's his oldest daughter. He's got 7 kids. They have a farm. Again, they homeschool. They're homesteaders. Because life is dangerous when you're a superhero. And I just love that. And when Renzo drew that, I was like, oh man! And then I sent it to Daniel to color. Oh my god! And people have been asking me, can you make this the front cover? So, who am I to argue with fans? So when I launch on Kickstarter, I've been on Fund My Comic exclusively, but July 1st, I want to launch on Kickstarter or thereabouts. I didn't check the actual dates. I'd like it to be a Friday night. When I launch, this will be an option for the cover. So I'll call it the invert. So you'll get the Renzo on the back and the Renzo on the front too, but you'll get this on the front. So
looks good. I like it.
Yeah, I love that.
I think I would get it myself.
And I'm not going to put any dressing on it. It's just going to be like that. You know what I mean? It'll look just like that. And then if you scroll down, you'll see some. What'd you say? 7 kids, man. The patriarch really loves his wife. Yes, yes. And a few people have already said, well, that's going to be boring. There's going to be no, tension. There's going to be tension. Do you have kids? There's going to be tension. No, he has 7 kids and he's away a lot of the times. And she doesn't, and he's in battles. He comes home bruised. He comes home bleeding. He goes to the hospital. Again, he's not all powerful. He's not Superman. He could be killed by a bullet, if he's not careful. So there will be tension. And then the kids don't want to, especially the oldest son. He's 19 years old. He doesn't want to live on a farm in the mountains for the rest of his life. There'll be stories about that. This is Boss Moxie. He was a construction worker foreman who woke up one day and just started robbing banks flamboyantly. I don't tell why yet, but it's a plot point that the city itself drives people crazy. Like I keep thinking, why does Gotham City filled with guys who dress up like penguins and clowns and whatever, but not Miami? You know what I mean? So I always thought that had to be something with Gotham City. Then Grant Morrison made this Bat Spirit or whatever. So I'm taking that concept. There's something wrong with the city that'll be a through line. And already, even in that panel, there's clues to the grand story of what's wrong with Science City. It's Science City, Arizona. So I read someplace that they said in outside of Yuma, Arizona, where it's just desolate desert, that they could make like a 10 by 10 solar farm and make enough power to power America. I don't know if it's true or not, but I thought it would be a great idea for a solar powered city. So this whole city, they got moving sidewalks, the garbage is collected through like pneumatic tubes. You know what I mean? It's right. All science based and whatever, but there's problems, and people wake up one day and rob banks because the city itself is causing insanity.
And Joe Black says the patriarchy doesn't believe in the pullout.
Well, what the patriarch does at home. I may be a writer, but I give him some privacy. Thank you.
He's a cool character. He likes the purple.
If you don't mind me, I'll talk a little bit about my philosophy of superheroes. Like, to me, a superhero is a pyramid, and the top point is the code name. Without the code name, you don't have a superhero. This code name is the focus of the superhero. Like Flash has got to be one of the greatest superhero names of all time. Because if you didn't know Flash, or if you got some guy from a country who did, and I said too, the Flash is a superhero, they could tell you, oh, he's probably wearing bright clothes, he's probably fast, or he has light, and they'd be pretty correct because it's a good focal point. So the patriarch, and then everything else fell from him. So his powers, he protects, so his powers aren't quite flight and invulnerability. You'll see. I don't want to give too much away, but then so the name is the focal point. Then the powers have to fit the name. If you're Spider-Man and you're shooting lightning bolts, you're a bad superhero. And then a costume has to be as simple and as elegant as possible. The least amount of lines. That's why I'm not a fan of the Jim Lee just weird lines throughout Batman. Batman is simple and elegant. So when I designed the patriarch, I drew Renzo a sketch of what I wanted him to look like, and then Renzo turned it to that. They scroll down, you'll see the picture I'm talking about.
Just a quick question. Garfield says,
keep going down.
How many long boxes do you own?
178, I think I'm up to. This was the first page Renzo sent me. This is page 2. And I was like, oh my God, he nailed it. He nailed it. Like, I don't want to have a lot of colors. I don't want to have a lot of line. There's not a line that's overused. You know what I mean? There's just the perfect amount of lines on that costume as need be. That's the way I think. So the name, the powers, the costume. And then in the middle of the pyramid is a symbol. So why he has a laurel wreath? Because I'm a Roman history major. I have a degree in Roman and Greek history. And so he's and that the name Patriarch, it's like a Greek Roman name. So I was like, all right, so he's got a Roman-esque name. I want to have like a Roman-esque costume. So the laurel wreath is the Roman victory. The purple for the emperor is the and then the gold because it's gold, and then he's white. He's a good guy. So I don't know. I just love that. And then I changed him a little bit because I realized his silhouette made him look exactly like Superman. So he's got more of like Buccaneer gloves and boots. But man, I just love this. I just love this. And like Superman, when he shows up, people like that guard has a machine gun pointed to him, and he's like, "Oh my God, the patriarch's here!" Like he already thinks he's saved, even though he's not saved yet. You know what I mean? That's what Superman's supposed to do.
Hero Darky Dark says he saw the long boxes you have, and he felt ashamed as a comic fan.
No, don't be ashamed. What you have is what you have. What I keep saying, the only thing we're competing against is ourselves. You know what I mean? I'm not competing with Vaughn Coleman. If I would be depressed if I was competing with Coleman. He's got like 12 grand. You know what I mean? I'm competing with me. You know what my last comic did? Nothing, because I never made a comic before. So this is how I'm doing. So don't be compared. You have 25 boxes. You have 6 boxes. You have 1 box. There you go. If you're happy with it, be happy with it. That's a lot of comics. John's superpower is being able to retain the knowledge like an encyclopedia. I wish I had that power. You know how many mistakes I make in my own videos and the comments that corrected me. But the secret is, don't be snarky about it. Don't be mean. When people corrected you, it's because they're right. I'm wrong. Oh, thank you. I would love it. I was talking with the printer, and I don't know. I might have a couple extra pages, and I was thinking of filling it with fan art. So DC, if you do fan art, put it on Twitter or send it to me or whatever, and provided it's not like, porn or something like that. It just might make it into the comic. His name is Vaughn Cloudman.
It's because Hobo believes the way Von Coleman looks, he looks like Cloud from Final Fantasy VII.
Oh, okay.
So he calls him Cloud, and he typically wears the cosplay of Cloud Stripe when he's playing Final Fantasy. That's why, because he's seen the images. That's why he calls him Von Cloudman.
Okay.
And then Dragon Fun says he has just one box.
Oh, well, you got to start somewhere. So
we can move on into page 3.
Okay, these are his henchwomen. Renzo loves to draw beautiful women, and Renzo draws beautiful women. So when I had Boss Moxie, it was a no-brainer that he had to have 3 gorgeous henchwomen. So they will all have cards themselves, and one of them might even become a major supervillain down the line. Because as I'm writing her backstory, I'm like, and I'm giving away too much. This woman over here in the black dress, that's Regina Lopez. She's a reporter.
It's kind of your Lois Lane type of character.
She's a Lois Lane, smarty pants. She's the one that accidentally exposed him. So there's a whole backstory with her. She's not a bad person. She's just good at her job. Let's leave it at that. Yeah, the artwork's so good. Renzo used to be a technical artist. He would draw blueprints, and so he said, so he could draw those buildings and everything so well. But he loves comics, and Renzo knows his comics. Oh my God! When I send him the scripts, he's like, "Okay, that's like the X-Men with John Byrne, and this. Okay, I got it. I know exactly what you want." He's so good.
And Master Hobo says, "What character do you dress up when you read comics, John?"
Odin. I got my hat, my eye patch. There you go.
Just like in the thumbnail of this live stream. But yes, DCC.
Yeah, Odin
is on Fun My Comic.
Yes, it's on Fun My Comic right now.
The link is pinned to the top of the chat.
Thank you. Yes, it's on Fun My Comic right now. Yes. I've been on Fun My Comic for like 2 months, 3 months, and after 3 months, I'm gonna go to Kickstarter with you saw I had the Pat Broderick cover. This is the only way to get the Pat Broderick cover is on Fun My Comic. And then when I go to Kickstarter, I'm gonna have a variant by Michael T. Gilbert, who drew Mr. Monster. And then when I go to Indiegogo, I'm gonna have a variant cover by Mike Gustovich, who was this cover is only on Fun My Comic. Luke Stone is a great guy, and I wanted to do something that you have to go to Fun My Comic to get.
Luke Stone is the guy that runs Fun My Comic, right?
Yeah, good guy. I'm not telling tales out of school, but I had like a problem. I updated an image a couple of hours before I launched, and I didn't realize, but if you change anything before you launch, it has to get reapproved. It's just smart for Luke because he approves it, and then 2 hours before I launch, I change everything around, and it breaks the rules. So he had to, but I didn't think of that. So my site went down, and oh my God, you can imagine the panic in me. 2 hours before I'm launching, my site goes down. So I called him, and I could hear the dishes clinking. He's eating with his family, and I'm like, yeah. I'm ranting like a lunatic. And he's just like, "Gosh, how's it going? What, you haven't even read it?" I'm like, "Why are you giving me small talk?" He's like, "Oh, it's fixed already." You know what I mean? And I say, "Could you do that on Kickstarter or Indiegogo? Call the guy and he's fixing it." So, yeah. Oh, I'm reading the comments. Subscribe. This looks. Oh, thank you, Dragon Fun. How you doing, Transformers fan? Thank you. Thank you.
Here, yep. He's been reading the Skybound comics and telling me all about it.
So good. Did you read why can't I think of the title of it now? Flame Power. Did you read Flame Power? That was so good.
No, I haven't.
And if you notice over here, the wife, she's got burns on the side of her body.
I did see that. I was curious about that.
Yeah, that'll be explained in issue 4.
All right, yeah, there you go. Just kind of putting it out there. He's rambling and telling you some stuff he's doing. So pay attention.
I got about 10 issues outlined already. The first issue is done. Daniel is told me he'll finish coloring it by the end of this week. So, and then it just goes to get lettered. So we're done with issue number 1 practically. I'd say 90% done. We already started. We're up to the 6th page of issue 2, and now I already started writing issue 3. It's just so much fun. I can't wait. Can't wait for you guys to get this.
That's what happens when you're a passionate fan and actually care about what you're doing.
You see this? He's kissing the girl's hand. He's flirting. He's flirting.
And that's how he gets them arrested.
Well, I also wanted to include the scene for 2 reasons, because your boy Zach, Diversity Comics, he was always going, don't people just rob banks anymore in comics? So I said, I'm starting my comic with the bank robbery. And then second, I wanted to show, you notice how he defeats this guy. There's no fight. He's a dad. When dad shows up in the room, he doesn't want to come in and beat you. A good father resorts to violence last. So I thought this was important to show that the Patriarch is not Wolverine. He's not looking forward. He doesn't want to resort to violence. So obviously you don't know what he said, but there's going to be some dialogue in here, and he de-escalates the situation without violence. Don't worry, there will be violence later, but you know what I mean? I just wanted to show that he's a good guy.
So you can see he drops the gun here. You notice how she's still smiling in the next panel here too.
Right. And it's funny because I just told Renzo, draw 3 sexy women. And now, that redhead, I like her backstory now. She might get a full story later on. Oh, I guess this is a good point to tell you. As a stretch goal, I wanted to have a 7-page backup story called Unheroic Tales, which was going to be about the villains in the comic. And I got so excited about it, I wrote the script that I just did it. So you already get a stretch goal built into the comic. So the Patriarch story is 22 pages, and then the backup story is 7 pages. I think it's 8 pages because we made one a double-page spread, and they're all done. And that's by Ron Mosicki and Oscar Carrena. He does the colors, and that is the story of one of the bad guys. So the comic itself is 22 plus 7 or 8. That's 30 pages. And then I'm going to have a letters page because comic books have to have letter pages. And I got 1 letter. So it's going to be, like the first issues of old Marvels, the editor talks about, or the writer talks about that. So I'll do that. And then I have ads. Don't worry. It's not ads. It's goofy ads that you'd see from old Marvel comics. I have a couple of comics gate names that are making ads for me, and 2 out of 3 of them are done already. So I think it's only $10, guys. I want everybody to be able to afford my comic. I think, $40 for a comic book is a big ask, especially you don't know me from all over the wall. And
if only you knew.
Yeah, if only. But you know what I mean? Like $10, I can't do anything about the shipping. That's out of my hands. So $10 for a comic, I think that's fair in this sphere, and it's a complete story, 2 complete stories. You're not gonna have to wait 9 months for the second story. If I have a bigger story to tell, I'll make a bigger comic, because this is crowdfunding. Realistically, we can't say this will be out in 2 months, 3 months, 4 months. I've never did this before. Right. I know how long it took to do issue 1. Issue 2 is chugging along faster. I think I'm going to be able to cut my time in half. So maybe in the future I'll make multi-part stories, but right now I think it's not right to ask people to pay $40 for a story and wait 3 years. You know what I mean? So you're going to get a full story every issue. Matter of fact, you're going to get 2 stories every issue, maybe a third if I hit stretch goals, because I want to do Unheroic Tales about the villains. Oh, you said it before, and I'll say it again. I think, I'm Transformers fan. You brought this up before. Yeah. He's not a superhero because he wants to beat people up. He's not a vigilante in that sense of the word. I mean, legally he's a vigilante. Actually, he's not. That's another thing. But he's doing it because he wants to protect. He has the power to protect his family and protect the world. And he, if not him, who? So he's it's not like he's a mean guy. Not, he's more like Superman. Superman doesn't fly in and punch people at super strength and crush people's heads. And Superman, if he can take you out without fighting, he will. Because I want him to be a good guy. But don't worry, in issue 3, when I have my Batman guy, I'm gonna have his foil, and this guy is why you really don't want Punishers and Batmans in the real world. You know what I mean? It's
right.
And he's gonna be so cool. I was drawing his designs today at lunchtime at work. I had to. I don't know if you know Brian Bow of Wolf and Batsy. I had to send him descriptions of. Originally, he was called the Raven, my Batman guy, and people like, there's too many characters named Raven. I'm like, yeah, but he's completely different. And then I'm like, you know what? I had to scrap the idea of the Raven. Then I changed it to the Rook, and then Jeff Johns just came out with a comic called the Rook, and I'm like, damn it! So now I changed his name again, and I'm not telling anybody because every time I tell people, somebody makes a comic. So you'll find out what his name is in issue 3.
What, you'll go to the next chess piece tonight.
Oh, god damn it! Now I got back to the drawing board. Yes, so I'm doing Judo Joe Black. I'm doing classic superhero archetypes, not stereotypes, archetypes. But I also want to put my unique spin on them. So this is a Superman archetype. I have no bones, but I already spoiled it. He's more in line to Jean Grey than Superman. He's telekinetic and he has heightened, psionic senses. As you can see right here, if you scroll down, he's using his senses for the first time, and he's able to, he's trying to go home right now, but he's. Oh, thank you, Hail the Lord. Yes, you have been pushing my book. Thank you so much. Thank you. Everybody's been really kind to me. I can't complain. I know there's drama and fighting, but you know what? I stay out of it, and people have been super nice. But if you scroll up a little bit so you can see the bottom panel, he's using his senses right here, and he sees that this car is about to drive off a cliff. You know what I mean? So he just wants to go home, but now he's got to save the family. You know what I mean? With great power comes great responsibility. So I wrote the scene because I wanted people to see he doesn't have the supervision. He doesn't have the the laser vision. He has telekinesis and psionic senses.
Right. So basically in this portion of this page, in this little panel, he's like, yeah, I'm gonna go home. I get to see my kids having fun. I got our pet.
Let me just do one more check. What's going on? Oh,
he talks about like you said, he's thinking of that, but then he realizes people are in danger and needs to go help them.
Yeah. He's a good guy. He's a good guy.
Right. So and then Transformers fan says this.
I already know what Peter Cullen. Oh, I don't know Peter Cullen.
So Peter Cullen is the main voice actor of Optimus Prime.
Oh, good choice. You know what's funny? I asked Joe Sontag to do a couple of lines for a trailer that never materialized. But if anybody's familiar with Joe Sontag, he's got his comic called the Reaper Destroyer. And
Reaper Destroyer,
yeah. His voice he's got that nice deep resonant voice. So so in my mind, the voice of the Patriarch is Joe Sontag.
So Transformers fan says John's Longbox legitimately makes his collection look pathetic in comparison.
I don't want to hurt anybody's feelings. Just because I have a lot of comics doesn't mean I'm. I've been telling my hobo brotherhood about this book, but sadly they're hobo. Yeah, well, hobo. Do what you got to do. Well, at least you've been telling people about it. Maybe there's going to be that one hobo who secretly has $1 million in the bank. There's always that legendary hobo. Which I'm trying to do a hobo story, believe it or not. I'm trying to work in a hobo story, and I just can't seem to make it work. But down the line, Master Hobo, I'll have a hobo story, because that's part of America that believe it or not, I tried to do the hobo thing for a summer years ago in 1993. I was on the rails living. I actually had a backpack and hitchhiking and stuff. So, and that was like the theme with my friends. You're gonna be a hobo. You're gonna get murdered. Well, I didn't get murdered. Spoiler alert.
Looks like you got another backer.
Oh, thank you. You guys are so good.
hobo story. Just take what I have, John.
Okay. Yeah. So yeah. Like I said,
Moving on to
$10.
page 5.
I want to show off.
Yes,
You know,
whatever you like, man.
I made a pint glass.
There you go.
I made a pint glass heroic tales, and if you can see the back, it's got the Patriarch symbol, because he is a dad and he does like to go home and have a beer. So I was like, I want to get a piece of swag that would legitimately work in the comic. Yeah, well, a pint glass. He has a beer, so you could get a pint glass as part of it. I don't. Hobos with superpowers would be, yeah. What would they have? What powers would they have? And I have
let him know, and then you'll give him some ideas. Maybe he'll actually go through with it.
I have a coin made. There's a place called Norse Foundry in Norway that I got coins made. I think I'm finally going to get them here. I think this week. So if anybody, just heads up, if you want coins made from Norse Foundry, you really, really got to give them months in advance, because that's how long it takes. But the coins are $5. They're expensive. I'm sorry, but if you buy a coin as an add-on, it's not going to change I don't have them with me. They're but if you scroll down, you can see them. They sent me photographs of what they're going to look like.
There you go.
There you go. It's going to say, and I want to make one of these coins for all my characters. Mary Sue's has her symbol. The Batman guy has his symbol that I just thought of today. It's so cool. So I want to make these coins, and if you buy the coins, it doesn't change the shipping. They're the size and weight of a nickel, so I could just throw that in the Gemini mailer. You know what I mean? So,
right.
So those are the swag, and then later on, I have plans. If I do well enough, I'd like to open up my own store, and I want to make a T-shirt, a purple T-shirt. How cool would that be? Right. Two-Face may have a use for that coin. Yeah. I love coins. I love coins.
Now, would you consider using something like Ripersend to get that?
I don't think I would meet his criteria, right? Like that would.
Well, I believe his criteria was like something that's farther along than concept, like something that's finished. I think that's farther along than concept. I think he would consider it.
Oh, there you go. I was under the
that way you can have your own. You could, if you want to do the shirts down the line, you could probably do it through him. He can get cheaper prices, things like that.
I've been asking people if anybody knows a good T-shirt place, because I've been going local.
Good quality, man.
Yeah,
I'm wearing this now. It's good.
I've been going to these local places, and they just can't do what I want. So I don't have any T-shirts ready. I wanted to have them ready for my campaign, and I wanted to go local, trying to do the right thing, but whatever. So I'm going to fulfill this one. Like I said, I was going to use Critical Blast, but I don't think I'm hitting the threshold. It would cost me money to hire a fulfillment service right now. So
there you go, right there.
I was just telling my wife, minimum order is $5. Yeah, well, I didn't hit that threshold yet. So just for a couple of reasons, I'd like to do everything soup to nuts of my first campaign by myself. And then I'm hoping on my second campaign that I'll need a fulfillment service. I'll need a Ripersend or Critical Blast or something, Oh, 10,000. So we already discussed 50,000. So 50,000, I shave my beard. For 10,000, I'm going to fly Renzo to New York. He lives in Mexico. And going to get him first, get him some good New York pizza. Second, get him some good New York Chinese food. And third, we're going to record ourselves.
You gotta get him New York bagels too.
Yes. We'll spend the day in Manhattan. We'll do whatever he wants for a couple of days, and then one day it'll just be me and him autographing and bagging him board and books and sending them out to you. Because Renzo does autograph them. I send stuff to Mexico to send it back. It's just not feasible. So for 10 grand, Renzo comes out here. And then we were thinking about doing a role-playing game and having everybody like Brian Bow and a couple of my friends that I've met, Vaughn, Coleman, and make up characters, and we'll make a that I've been saying that's the $100,000 stretch goal is fly Rini over here and she'll make a character, ask whoever wants to come who has a character, whatever, just whoever will sit in the space and play a role-playing game at the table. That would be fun. Beardless John's Longbox would be cursed. It's funny. I've had this beard now for 6 years. I'm 56. So most of my life I was beardless. And now I have a whole bunch of people who don't recognize me if I shaved. I shaved about 4 years ago, and people are like, who is this guy?
Exactly. So Renzo's from Mexico, and I'm apparently from Cuba. It's a joke we have because we had a creator who compared me to that famous dictator from Cuba. So,
Oh, Fidel Castro.
yeah. Yeah.
John has the guts to shave, unlike Reenie and Vaughn. Yeah. For 50 grand, yeah, I'll shave. Yeah. Real Transformer says you're the first person. I was told we have a young apprentice on my job who's 19 years old. He guessed my age at 72 today. That piece of shit.
Oh man.
Yeah. So I've been do you play role-playing games?
I played I played like tabletop. No, I was never really into the tabletop stuff. Although I thought Warhammer 40K as a tabletop was pretty cool. It just looked too complicated for me. But I love video game RPGs. If you're talking that, that's right up my alley.
My roommates in college, we had a Warhammer house. We rented a house from one of my roommates' grandmothers. So it was her old house before she had to go live with his parents. So it was an old house filled with furniture, and the whole dining room table was taken over by Warhammer. The china closet were cleared out of plates and dishes. It was all Warhammer model. But these guys, all they did was paint and buy minis. It was just too expensive and too I never got into it, but it looked so much fun. But I was the game master. We played Dungeons and Dragons, we played Vampire the Masquerade, and we played Villains and Vigilantes. So a couple of my friends' characters will be showing up. I didn't include them in the first issue because I thought I didn't have the right to show their character. And they all got mad at me. They're like, why didn't you include my character? Was great. I wanted to see them join in. I was like, okay. So issue 2, I'm going to have a couple of my friends' characters in it. And now that I know that they want me to do it, I might have a whole story. Kelsey and John are battling for the best beards. Yeah, Kelsey and I have a show called Two Beards, One Comic, where we talk about comics. We did Jim Starlin Warlock, and this coming Thursday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard, it's going to be Kelsey, Shannon, and I talking about Marvel's Secret Wars, the first 2 or 3 issues. So Two Beards, One Comic. That's Kelsey and I's show on my channel. John's Longbox is the name of my channel. Comics, manga, books, Transformers are the things I mostly love the most. Second would be video games. Third would be, yeah, they're all fun. They're all fun. I missed manga came to America in the 80s. They called it Japanimation in Japanese comics at the time. But I loved them. And then they were gone. So I guess the first wave didn't stick. But all my nieces and nephews, they all read manga. So I've been asking them to recommend some manga for me because I still love comics, and mainstream comics are, we got it right here. We got it right here. Here, the lore. Yes, right here. I reluctantly kicking and screaming got dragged into the modern age with the digital copy because I'm a floppy guy. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I've always been a physical media everything, guys. So.
Yeah, I like my physical. My wife buys DVDs. I buy books. You know what I mean? A couple of people sent me PDFs of their comics to read before coming on my channel, and I say thank you, but I'm not going to read a comic book on my phone or on an iPad. I just can't do it. But I do recognize, like I had one of the guys, he wanted to back. He's in Ireland, and he doesn't want to pay $40-50 shipping for a comic book, and I don't blame him. So I just said, you know what? First off, it's leaving money on the table. Second off, more people will be able to read my comic. You know what I mean? So yes, there is a digital tier. Hey, Master Swag, how you doing, Master Swag? I've been on his channel a few times. We always just filibuster about comics. It's fun, talk about if Hulk could beat Thor or something like that, or who would win in a fight, Hulk or Flash. We have fun. Digital means accessibility for people not. Yes, exactly, Master Swag. You're 100% right, and I'm reasonable. Just today, people were asking, could they get that back cover as a front cover? And I said, okay, if that's what you want, and people explained they wanted digital, so I give them digital. We're supposed to be in a customer service mindset. So that's what the customers want. That's what they get. I used
It's
to get
that,
digital movies. That's
it's as they say. It's as they say. Like it's just similar to. It's similar to how Ubisoft says that you got to be ready to be prepared that you don't own what you buy digitally. And
yeah.
the internet's response to that, at least gamers' response to it, is, well, if buying something isn't owning it, then piracy isn't stealing it. So that's how they respond. That's how gamers responded to it.
And now I'm seeing that. I know on Comixology they started editing comics, which is I think a big red flag. They're going to start editing your comics. That you know what I mean? I don't like that. Physical
kind of
media.
like how they were doing a reprint of that one Wolverine cover where he had the cigar and now he doesn't have the cigar anymore.
Yeah. Yes. I don't like that. I don't like that. And they're talking about editing movies because the modern audience finds this offensive. Then you know what?
Yeah, it's also like when people caught with what was it, Back to the Future 2, where he was looking through the magazine and it wasn't the woman, it was like words, and then people caught it and they had backlash against Netflix and they're like, oh, it was just a mistake and all that. So that was like,
I didn't hear. What did they do? What was it like? So, or something?
Yeah, so it was the part where Marty goes into the he picks up like one of the woman magazines, like, and then he's searching through it. It's like he goes ooh la la while he's looking at the lady in the book, and then he drops it. But in the digital edited version on Netflix, they removed the woman, and people caught it and they backlash against Netflix, and then they said, oh, it was just a mistake. We didn't mean to do that. And people
you did it. That takes a lot of work for them,
Yeah, so they reversed it and put it back.
Yeah, look at these comments. The new Predator Omnibus has content left out.
Oh, here.
Yeah. Down with censorship. Yeah. Does the Patriarch smoke cigars like Wolverine?
He drinks beer.
He drinks beer. He likes his whiskey. I was thinking of one of the stories. Him and his son are going to have a beer and a cigar. So yes, but the thing is, he doesn't have an enhanced physique. He doesn't have a healing factor. He doesn't have super strength. He has that physique from working out and eating right. So, he will have a cigar once in a while, but he's not a chain smoker. You know what I mean? He's a 44-year-old man who has to work out. Will we see the Patriarch? Well, his wife isn't black, and he's loyal to his wife. So I'm sorry. I don't read any mainstream. I still read some mainstream comics. I love Usagi Yojimbo. I'm trying to look over here for mainstream comics. I just finished a Firepower that finished up Robert Kirkman book. I thought that was excellent. It was just a fun superhero romp. I still get some mainstream stuff. I've been getting the Gargoyles, but I read the first 3 and it started to get a little woke for me. But I'm up to 11, but I haven't read them yet. So I don't know. That might be on the chopping block. I don't watch digital.
Yeah, I need to read my Thundercats books and see if I want to keep going, because I absolutely love the 80s cartoon of Thundercats. So I figured the books would be close to that.
There's some good mainstream stuff. Yeah, I'm not going to condemn. I'm not going to throw the baby out with the bathwater. There are good comics being made, and I would rather talk about the comics that I like than comics that I don't like. When people. Right. Believe people try to drag me kicking and screaming into all the drama. And I always say the same thing. There's a restaurant around the block for me that's terrible. You want to talk about it for 6 hours for the next 5 months? And they go, no. That's the way I feel about you talking about comics you don't like.
Exactly.
And there's nothing wrong with criticism. Another guy got mad at me. I said, no. You don't like Octopus Man. It's an Octopus Man comic. You don't like it. Say why you don't like it. Be honest. Don't say anything about the creator. You know what I mean? This comic I don't like because of this. You said your piece, move on. You know what I mean? I got no problems with that. That's honest. But to be like Octopus Man sucks because the creator was a jerk and he's whatever. Mark Waid's a terrible person, but he does write some good comics. That's the hardest one for me. Do I really want to buy any Mark Waid comics? Good thing he doesn't have any good comics coming out these days, so it's easy. But like Marvel's was excellent. Oh, that was Kurt Busiek. You know, Mark Waid. Kingdom Come was excellent. Frank Miller did a great. Oh, I didn't read Ronin 2. I love Ronin so much that I didn't get Ronin 2. If that makes sense to you guys, you know, like I pretend. Yeah, well, that keeps you sane.
None says he does not read Marvel or DC anymore.
I cut Marvel and DC off in 2015. I didn't know who Diversity in Comics was. The story that I tell is I've been getting. I was living in Queens, and I get a big box of comics from Discount Comic Book Service, and I was getting $400 a month on comics, and the UPS guy just. It was a 3-story walk up. So I had a huge freaking box. And the UPS guy didn't want to walk up the stairs with my box of comics. So he started to leave. And my wife saw him. And she goes, "Do you have a package for my husband?" And he handed it to her. And she dropped it because it was so freaking heavy. It burst the seams. Now comics are coming out. And she's picking up this box. Comics are spilling out. She's crying. And luckily my nephew saw. He lived in the next building over. So now both of them are carrying this freaking $400 box of comics. She's crying. She's like, "You buying too many comics?" And then I'm looking through them like, I don't even like these. And right then and there, I said, I'm done. You know, I finished out what I pre-ordered, and I just cold turkey. No more Marvel, no more DC. I still get, like I said, Usagi Yojimbo I look forward to. You know, and now anything Hellboy I still get. So I still get new comics, but Marvel and DC, they don't like us. They don't. Yeah, and this was before the whole political stuff happened. 2015, I was so mad because they were hiring guys that had no concept of the continuity of Marvel, and that was driving me crazy. I'm going to try my best to keep continuity as tight as possible in my comic because I'm an anal retentive freak, and that was driving me. When what's his name was writing Ta-Nehisi Coates was writing the Black Panther. I'm like, you obviously didn't read Jack Kirby's Black Panther. You didn't even read Christopher Priest's Black Panther because this character is different. His motivations are distant. The history, and I was like, I'm done. And then I'm glad I did because if I was around for the 2016 political nonsense, I think I would have, went postal, as the expression was. So, thank you, John. Thank you, John. Yeah, Renzo is great. It was funny, though, because he asked me, he goes, "John, can I draw the cover?" And I was like, "Of course you could draw the cover." He goes, "So many times I don't get to draw the cover." I was like, I'm old school. I want the artist that draws the interiors to draw the exteriors. I don't want to do that bait and switch. I did the variant covers because people asked for them, and it is kind of fun. But I asked Renzo, "Would you mind if I have, Pat Broderick do a variant cover?" He goes, "Oh, I love Pat Broderick." He was so excited. He goes, "Oh yeah." So, but I want people to know Renzo is my guy. He's going to draw everything. I want the inside to match. I want the carpet to match the drapes. Let's be a little crude here. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So yeah, that's actually something that I think Eric and a couple other people were always mentioning, that like the covers would look amazing, and then when you open the book up itself, it looks like crap.
Right. I don't think that's right. And I think people understand variant covers. You know what I mean? And so I try to make people understand, for the most part, nobody's ever accused me of baiting and switching. When I tell them the Patrick Broderick, I say that's a variant cover. This is the Renzo. This is the normal cover, So, and let's face it, if you're making your way to fund my comic, clicking to buy a comic, you understand the nature of the business and you understand, you know what I mean? So, but I know, but I'm also not going to do the 36 covers because I'm going to prey on the compulsive nature of comic book.
A through Z's and chase covers.
Yeah.
Now,
I might do the back cover as the front cover as more of a limited thing just to make it fun because I don't know.
Now, would you say there's an artist out there that you would love to get on your book as to make you a variant cover?
John Byrne. Forget, you know what I mean? That John Byrne, Walt Simonson. I would love to get these guys. Kelsey Shannon. Oh my God, there's so many guys there's so much. Dale Keown. Oh my God, but can I afford? I asked Mark Allred. I just couldn't afford him. You know, he was a good guy. He gave me a discounted rate, but I just couldn't. I asked EVS. He gave me the same rate that he quoted other people. He was a gentleman about it. I just couldn't afford it. And he was like apologetic about it. He goes, "I'm sorry, I'm a little expensive." I said, "You're not expensive if you're worth it." You know, the guy is a tremendous artist, but for my first comic, I just couldn't do it. So in the future, I would love to work my way up to like Jay Lee. How cool would that be? $10,000 for a cover. You know what I mean? I would love to be able to afford that, you know, but not that there's anything wrong with Renzo. I already talked to Josh Howard. Josh Howard's going to do a variant cover for issue 2 of Mary Sue, because nobody draws cute girls like Josh Howard. So that'll be awesome.
You ever thought about getting Renee to do a cover of Mary Sue?
I already asked her. And she says she goes, "I'm so busy with my comic right now. I don't want to say yes and I don't want to say no. So it all depends on the timing." I thought that was a fair answer.
I think she makes beautiful looking women too.
Yeah, yes, she does. She does. You know, the fact that there's going to be a female character, you know, on one of the covers, the back cover is going to have the Patriarch, or whatever. It's a flip book, so there's 2 front covers. Mm-hmm. The fact that it's going to be a cute girl on it just opens up like Mark Allred. How cool would a Mark Allred cover be? You know, Patrick's cover is excellent, but please, I'm a Renzo fanboy. I got no argument against what you're saying. You know, I got Pat Broderick kind of as a selfish reason for me, because Pat Broderick is the first comic book artist that I fell in love with as a kid. He had a comic called Marvel Spotlight, which was continuing of his first Captain Marvel run from the early 70s. And I just bought those as a kid back in like 1974. And Captain Marvel, Drax the Destroyer, flying through space, fighting these space. It was awesome. And I've been a fanboy of his ever since. So I said, I want the variant cover on my first comic book to be by the first comic book artist that I became obsessed with. So that was just like a personal bit of vanity, but is anybody
kind of like a nostalgia for you, right? We'll say.
You know, but I don't think anybody ever said it was a bad cover. So yeah, awesome cover.
Yeah, CH saying they bought the A and B cover, A and B combo.
Thank you. Oh my God, thank you. You guys are. You know, it's funny because you're supposed to say, "Oh, you guys are making me feel humble," and you guys are making me feel awesome. My head's getting big. The exact opposite. Thank you so much. Make bold. Read you in your book somewhere.
So he's always looking for cool new indie comics and comic creators to support.
Thank you. I hope I earn your support. You know, it's funny because I did 2 things when I started. When I made my comic book YouTube channel, which is John's Longbox. You know, I try to do daily videos, but lately I've been just promoting. So I told myself I was always going to be positive, and I'm going to assume the best in any comment unless I know for a fact that it's negative. And it really changed everything. Like, you know, like when somebody corrects me, they're correcting me because they love comics, not because they think I'm a jerk or being like a needling. You know what I mean? So I'm going to try to go forward with my comic in the future. Like I you know, I know somebody's not going to like it. I know I already got one hater who just can't wait to buy this comic so we can tear it apart. I know that, but I'm going to try to what would Stan Lee do? What would Stan Lee's not like, F you piece of crap. Yeah, you know what I mean? Stan Lee was like, oh, yeah, well, you know. So I'm trying to train myself, you know.
Stick to the mentality of ignoring the drama and just saying, well, thank you for buying my book, putting money in my pocket.
Well, I would take. I don't want to, you know, but like, is his criticism valid? Is the way I'm going to look at it, because I already got one piece of criticism just on these 5 pages, and it was the most insane criticism. Thank you very much. I'll work on. You know, what am I going to do? You know,
right.
I don't want to. I don't want to
kill him with kindness, as they say.
Yeah, that, you know. Not literally, I'm not trying to kill anybody, but I'm trying to just, believe it or not, one guy said, this is on Twitter, this looks like a generic superhero in a boring comic. So I said, okay, here's a chance for me to test out my flaw. So I said, I'm sorry you feel that way. Issue number 2, I'm going to have a different hero that's more science-based and blah, blah, blah. I hope that'll be more to your liking. And the guy responded back. He goes, you know what? I'm very sorry. You know, you were so nice. I sometimes forget that there's people. And that guy actually went and backed my comic. You know, so one, I should have battled with him for the next 20 years, right? That's what everybody else do. Stan Lee would make a movie cameo. Yeah. Guys, I don't know how many people watch it, but does it drive you crazy when you see on Twitter Stan Lee still tweeting? Oh my God.
I haven't noticed, but it says we have 35 people watching.
Oh, wow. Cool.
You have a pretty busy chat too. It says haters by reverse comment.
I keep looking.
Just to hate on them. Not all criticism is helpful or useful.
Like I said, Eric July's been on my channel twice. He's been nice to me. Ethan Van Skyver's been on my channel. He's been nice to me, so I don't want to say anything bad about them. What I will say is, if you don't like Eric July's comics, don't buy them. Don't talk about them. So if you don't like,
that's been my thing forever. It doesn't work. just to simply say that it doesn't work.
Like right now, there's Marvel and DC are putting out a shitload of comics that I don't like. I'm not buying them. I'm not talking about. I'll talk about Hellboy. I'll talk about the Skybound comics that are excellent. I'll talk about Fiendish, which, oh my God, did I love Fiendish? You know what I mean? I'll talk about Wolf and Batsy that I love, and Horace H. Hoover. Guys, back Horace H. Hoover by Fabrizio Aiello. He's about to release issue number 3. Great stuff. Why am I talking again? You want to talk about a restaurant that sucks? For the next, that's what my mother would do. We'd just sit there, be polite, because it's my mom. John was like Cinnabon. Hero Darkly Dark. He's another guy who's been on my channel. You got a comic on Amazon. That's something I'm interested in doing in the future.
Yep, I have that book. I actually have that.
Forgive me. Is it Relentlessly Bullied
Hero number 1? Yeah. He's now doing the Storm Rail Raiders number 1, and he has Relentlessly Bullied Hero on Amazon, which I actually leave the link to the Amazon listing in my description of all my videos. And he's currently has a sign up list for Relentlessly Bullied Hero number 2.
Oh, excellent! I'm rooting for you, buddy. And I guess I should be jealous of his success, but he's not taking money out of my pocket. You know what I mean? Rising tide floats all boats. You know what I mean? Let's get somebody. Oh, I chased Renowned. I chased you away.
Yeah,
I forget who it was. I can't take credit for it, but somebody asked Mike Barron, what can we do to get more eyes on in these comicsgate, whatever you want to call it. And he just said, write good stories. He goes, we already have phenomenal artists. Write good stories. So he's absolutely right. Master Hobo, John has a super likability power that even crazies can't hit. I got invited to a channel, and I knew it was going to be a pile-on. I knew that they were just inviting me on to attack me, and I just stayed the course, and I went over his chat, and this guy just at the end he was like, hey, cool guy, let's just go. So whatever. Force fields up, shields up. Hero Darkly is awesome. I don't know where Renowned went. I guess he had to go to the bathroom, so I will filibuster until he comes back. As for comics, if I don't like something, I just don't talk about it. And I hope I don't get people to ask for refunds, but I'm not a big fan of Star Wars anymore. My philosophy is like Monty Python. The number of movies is 3, and 3 is the number of the movies. 5 is right out, and not 4, and not 2 unless followed by 3. That's how I feel about Star Wars. There's 3 Star Wars, as I put up 4 fingers. There's 3 Star Wars movies. I love them to death. If you like other movies, that's fine. But I'm not going to talk about how much I hate the Alkalite. I'm 56, guys. My parents kicked it when they were 72. Why do I want to waste those little time I got talking about the Alkalite? What you got there? Oh, there you go. Nice.
I got it right here. I went to go grab it. I couldn't find it. This is Hero Darky Dark's book right here.
Good. He's a good guy. He was on my channel, and you were also on with me. Comic Book Team Up.
Yeah, I read it in one sitting, and I put my review on Twitter.
Yeah, I got too many crowdfunded comics. I got a big precariously.
Now what I did pick up. I picked up Space Ghost.
I love Space
Ghost.
Ghost. Yeah.
And
Alex Ross on the cover, right?
Alex
Ross doing the cover?
I don't think so. I think this is. Let me see. This is Francesco Mattina.
Oh, he's good too. Okay.
Yeah, that's issue 1. Apparently they're doing reprints, so I decided to pick up Spawn number 1 for $1.
Oh, cool.
And I was going through my back issues, and I found this.
Oh, Pitt, nice. It's funny that you did that because I just realized that I'm missing this issue of Pitt. So I just bought Pitt. What is this? 12. So I just bought Pitt 12. I gotta say, out of all of those early Image comics, Pitt was one of the more well written comics.
Yeah, this is actually the first one.
Yeah, so Pitt is good. Dale, come on, make it omnibus. That's printed money, Dale.
I keep hearing about Pitt, so I was like, I was searching for some Power Rangers for a friend of mine, and I was scrolling through. I was like, oh, they have Pitt. I'm grabbing that.
Yeah, I don't know why I was missing number 12. I'm currently, yeah. Thank you. When I see myself that big, I get so self-conscious. I was trying not to look at the screen. I have a scanner, and I scan my comic, the barcodes, and I put it in a database, but it crashed. So I'm redoing it, and I'm realizing how many comics that I'm just holes in my collection. I'm trying to look at all of the. Man, your chat is really good, really active.
Now, if you want to see an Alex Ross cover, I have this.
I love Alex Ross cover. I'd like
this
to.
My friend of mine wanted me to pick up this Astro City #1. This is an Alex Ross cover here.
Yeah, I love Astro City, one of my favorite comics.
Yeah, so for some reason they're doing like these reprints for all these Image comics. So yeah, they had a bunch of these #1s for like $1 at my local comic
that's
shop.
A good comic, The Samaritan. I must have reread. There's if you follow my comic, there's a lot of inspirations of Astro City. You know, Science City is based on Astro City with Gotham thrown in and Metropolis thrown in.
And just wanted to say, for someone like Hero Darky Dark to be brand new to the indie scene, this book is not shitty paper. It's a pretty good paper. Pretty good paper you got here.
Hero Darkly Dark, you made a not shitty comic. That's awesome. Can you put that on issue 3? Renown says not a shitty comic.
No, what I'm saying is it's not bacon paper.
Yeah.
It's not bacon paper.
I have a thing about the way comics feel too. Like, to me, Alterna comics are the best. Just the way they feel, the tactile. They feel like old school comics. And Pete Samedi of Alterna, he treats that like Fort Knox. He won't share what printer he uses, but I think he prints it in such high scale that I wouldn't be able to make it affordable.
Yeah, so yeah, like I was saying, for somebody who's like new to it, like the fact that he could get comics that aren't flimsy like this, it's good. I think this was almost 48 pages. I said basically my review was that the main character is similar to like a Naruto or a Deku type of character. It's like he wants to do the right thing, but he doesn't have the power to do so just yet. He's still learning about his powers, and then he meets a type of like All Might character. I don't know. You might not know anything about anime.
I know My Hero Academia. People telling me I got to read it. I got to check it out.
That's like I said. So the book is 60 pages, or as people would say, oh, it's 30 because it's it's double sided. Even though it's double sided, it's 30.
You got a fun chat.
I love my chat. I love my community. We're great.
Yeah,
they're great. They're awesome.
Star Wars used the holy hand grenade of Antioch. I'm glad somebody got my reference. I want to think about the big titties anime girls. I got a couple of sexy supervillains coming up in the future issue. So guys, let Master Swag needs his hormones fulfilled. So if we back Hero Tales, we'll get to the sexy supervillain girls, and I think issue 4. So love My Hero and the Patriarch will get along. Yeah.
So in all my videos, Transformers fan, I put the link to Hero Darky Dark's comic from Amazon. You can buy it on Amazon now. And it's in the description of all of my videos. The link to it is in Amazon.
Cool. See,
so you can get there. You can still get it there, and then sign up for the second issue if you like the first one.
If Master Hobo says Pete Samedi's King Cryptid is great, yeah, that's a fun comic, and he's doing it the right way. Each issue is self-contained, but it builds to a larger story, which is what I'm doing. Like each issue, I want to introduce a new superhero, and then eventually the team will form. And then there's going to be a down the road, maybe around issue 10, a threat so big that the team has to form, you know. And I'm not saying the name of the team because every time I mention a cool name, so somebody else comes out with it quicker.
Now, if you ever create a Lady Death type of character, we have the ultimate Lady Death simp right there. That guy.
Oh,
That guy right there, he's the ultimate Lady Death simp. He has Death simp. He has all the Lady Death stuff. This guy.
What would be a type? Just a sexy bikini chick? Because yes, I have a sexy supervillain chick that I want to debut. But you know, will she have death?
Is she gonna look kind of like the Dark Queen from Battletoads?
I don't know, but
well, she kind of wears something similar to what these ladies are wearing here.
Okay, yeah,
I show you design, you would understand it better.
I have two other female superhero comics that you got to have a Wonder Woman type, so I'm gonna have a Wonder Woman type coming up soon, but she's gonna be more Norse mythology based than Greek mythology. That's also something. There's gonna be a lot of like mythology and ancient horrors and all the stuff that I love. I want to try to make it a cohesive story. You know, the nature of superpowers and ancient evils and ancient civilizations. All that stuff is gonna. Oh, she's sexy, yeah.
Yeah, that's the evil queen from Battletoads.
Yeah,
this was believe it or not, this character was made in the 80s too. Because that's when the game was made.
She's the costume was simple and elegant. You know, the design has not too many lines.
You do not want to see the reboot version of this.
Oh, what does she look? Now you got me curious. Oh my god. Oh my god.
For the modern audience.
So it's the modern art. I thought like all the modern art. I thought everybody was sex positive. You know. No. Yeah.
So we went from this.
Yeah.
To this.
Oh my god, that's awful. At least she doesn't look like Lizzo or Miss Alabama.
So yeah, that's kind of what I was saying. Like, kind of like the Dark Queen. She's a sorceress in Battletoads.
Creator clash: Renzo Rodriguez versus John Longbox. Who? Renzo. He's wily. He's got children. I got. Plus Renzo, I would feel too bad fighting him. He's like a saint. He's been on my channel a few times. We talked on the phone a few times. Like I'm not even joking. Sometimes I see a halo behind this guy. He's such a good guy. You know, I would let him beat me up because I couldn't fight him.
And Drive Pro says this about the character that's kind of like basically Lady Death that you would make.
Oh, then you like my character. She has a sword and a shield. And her first instinct is violence because she's Nordic hero based.
And then this.
Yeah. Wonder Woman type mixed with the punch. That's pretty deadly. You know how many people Wonder Woman could kill if she put her mind to it? I know she's a warrior and I know she has a sword, but like Wonder Woman is compassionate for that. That's why I did like the Wonder Woman movie. The first Wonder Woman movie. I didn't see the second one. But you remember the scene in the first Wonder Woman movie with the sniper? He's got the PSTD and he can't snipe and he's crying. And then he's playing the piano and everybody's dancing. I'm getting emotional thinking about it. Such a great scene. And she says, that's why you're here. Everybody has value. Look at you. You got everybody to dance and forget the war. That to me was perfect Wonder Woman. You know, compassion and everything. Yeah.
There
my poor eyes. Yeah. That.
There's My Poor Eyes and the Downgrade from Hell.
And what they did to Laura Croft, you know.
Don't even remind me. I mean, don't worry. They did it bad with the Battletoads as well. So, but
what actor? I would love John Hamm. John Hamm playing the Patriarch. And no, Patriarch is not my self-insert. I wish I look like the Patriarch. I joke around. My self-insert will be showing up in issue 3. Look for Augie Carmichael, and then you're going to be like, "That's what you think of yourself." It's the joke. I don't have a self-insert. I can't wait for a track. Yeah, look at these girls in this. You know.
I'll blow it up and I'll share it. I'll share it and I'll blow it up.
Yeah. Look at these. That's Toots, Damon, Mall. You know, they all got 30s gangster names. Toots, Damon, Mall. You know. you know.
There you go.
And I got some.
Yo.
There's got to be, and it's funny because you know, I told Renzo just, you know, I wanted a redhead, I wanted a blonde, and I wanted a black girl, you know, because Boss Moxie likes his variety, he likes his diversity.
His
So,
actual diversity.
Yeah, I said draw them sexy, and then people have been asking about them, and they noticed the redhead was flirting with them. So people like, what's her story? So now these were just one shot nameless characters, you know, and now I'm like, as I'm writing their information for the cards when they get unlocked, the redhead might have a story in the future. I'm starting to like her. I love the coloring. Somebody says I love the coloring. This is Daniel de la Silva Rodriguez, no relation to Renzo. He also colors Dave Brink's Perfect 10. And when I saw the coloring for Perfect 10, which is my favorite, no joke, my favorite superhero comic coming out on our indie scene, it is and the guy's from, what was he, Dutch? He's a Dutch guy who gets American comics better than most Americans. Awesome comic. So I asked him, I said, could I contact your colorist? And he said, be my guest. The guy needs to work. And I'm so happy that I did. So happy that I did. I like this Garfield. Isn't escapist entertainment supposed to be filled with attractive people? Yeah. And if they're ugly, they're supposed to be ugly. You know what I mean? And you know what I mean? Like, let's face it, the Mole Man, he's supposed to be ugly. You know what I mean? Dr. Doom has scars all over his face because that's part of his character, you know. Dr. Octopus is supposed to be like a little incel, you know. Is it spelled John Hamm with 2 M? I think so. I think it's spelled. But he was the same actor from Mad Men. He was Don Draper in Mad Men. You know, just they look beautiful. Thank you.
So the Transformers fan says he never played Battletoads, currently playing X-Men Origins Wolverine and Transformers Devastation. About to play Spec Ops, which I told him it's a mind fuck. The game is a complete mind fuck. It's gonna hit you out of nowhere. Like, you're not gonna expect it, and it's just gonna smack you right in the face. Give me like, it's gonna make you have one of those, oh wow, I didn't even notice that type of moment. It's gonna mind fuck you bad. And it'll mind fuck you a couple of times, not even just once. It'll mind fuck you at least 2 or 3 times. So, and I believe I remember correctly, the game has multiple endings. So Spec Ops it does.
So yeah, I don't know what else to say. Oh yeah, Patriarch does look like Renzo. Renzo made him suspiciously look like himself. I really do hope, you know, I'm going to do all the stretch goals over all 3 platforms. So if I can make it to 10K, I'm flying Renzo to New York. And it's funny because when I told Mark Polton that, who lives in New Jersey, he's like, Renzo will come. Can I come too? I was like, yeah. So
it's super easy to go from Jersey to New York. It's like it's just a train ride, like 2.5 hours, something like that.
Yeah, you know, and Billy Tucci lives 5 minutes away, so maybe we'll have a big old.
There you go.
And Cecil lives like the next town over.
Yeah, there you go. We'll all get together, and all of you guys.
And I'm so mad I'm gonna miss Heroes Con. All my friends really wanted to. My childhood friends that, you know, we scattered throughout the 4 corners of the United States. We all went to the same comic book store together. We all played D&D and Villain Vigilantes together. But they go every year to Heroes Con, and I wanted to go, but I just couldn't. And my job, there's no paid time off. You take off work, you just don't have money. There's no vacation. You know, take off as much time as you want, whatever you can afford. So I missed 6 weeks because I had hernia surgery, so I just couldn't take off any more time. But I had to get.
There's always New York Comic Con.
Yeah, I'll go to, but this, I just wanted to see all my friends. You know what I mean? And Reenie's going, and Vaughn's going, and
right, yeah.
Going, you know.
I get that.
Yeah, for 100,000, have Renzo shave as well. Yeah, you'll have to ask him. I can't. You know, we just work together. I don't even consider him as my. You know, it's people like, oh, you're Renzo's boss. I'm not Renzo's boss. Renzo's my partner. You know, and if he said he didn't want to work with me anymore, I don't know what we do. You know, he is Heroic Tales as much as me. D&D, Divine Thaco, 2-hit armor class 0. I drive pro. I know my D&D. I played D&D up to 2nd edition, Advanced Dungeons & Dragons 2nd edition. I've never played 3rd edition or above. I still have all of my 2nd edition and before books and my Dragon magazines. Yeah. I can't wait for this coin. I just got a notification. It should be here. It's in a facility in North Carolina right now from Norway.
You just gotta post a video of flipping it and doing it.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna do an unboxing video. You know, I'm
doing the old heads or tails, Two-Face type deal.
And then as soon as it gets here, I'm gonna start doing the coin for Mary Sue, and then maybe I'll even do the coin for the Batman archetype. You know, I don't want to give his name because that's going to curse. Every time I say the name, another comic comes out with that guy's name. Yeah, Gary Gygax loved killing his players as the DM. Yeah, I got to say, playing Dungeons & Dragons as a kid, I started to think that it was almost like the DM versed the players. And then when I started playing Villains Vigilantes, it almost kind of seemed like it was the GM, Game Master, and the players were playing together to make a comic book story. So you know, I have no problems killing off my characters because if there's not you know, my players, I have no problems if there's not a threat of failure and catastrophic failure, then there's no tension. If there's no tension, there's no fun. But I don't go out of my way to kill characters or anything like that. You know. Yes, do you remember Elf and Dwarf for their own class? Yes, in the Red Box Master series. And I keep looking over here because it's over there. They put out the Red Box Master series in a wooden box. I bought one still in shrink wrap over there. Guess I have to be on edge. I remember one story we played D&D in high school and accidentally blowing up my entire party because I did a fireball but failed badly. Yeah. In my superhero role-playing game, the main villain stole a broken arrow, a nuke. He pulled a nuke out of a Russian submarine. So he had a nuclear missile and he was doing what supervillains do, threaten everybody. And my friend Jimmy's character was a robot named Utensil. I love that character. You better believe Utensil is going to show up in the car. But Utensil had like all these machine man, you know, screws and laser cutters and flamethrowers and stuff. So Utensil went to dismantle the bomb. So everybody else was fighting the villains. And I said, and if, you know, in Villains Vigilantes, the 20 is the worst thing you could roll, and a 1 is the best thing you could roll. So I said, Jimmy, if you roll a 20, you're detonating this bomb, a nuclear bomb. And he was like, okay. Rolls the dice, gets a 20. So I didn't have the TPK. Jimmy had the TPK. He killed the entire party. Utensil's last stand. Out. Good thing it was out in the North Pole, you know, so radioactive. I missed out on tabletop D&D, but Heroes of the Eternal Sun is a classic video game. I'll take your word on it. Phase Rip, I don't know what that is. You stumped me on that one. Yeah.
There you go.
I there's a video on my channel. There's a playlist of role-playing games. You could actually watch me and my friends make up characters and have an entire adventure. I think we did it in like 2-hour segments. So it's almost 9 o'clock. Believe it or not, I got to go to bed. I got to go to work tomorrow on Saturday.
You're very good, man. Just know that everybody that the campaign for this for Heroic Tales #1 is pinned to the top of the chat. If you want to go ahead and back it, if you like what you see, just know that he would very much appreciate it if you did. He wants this to be his lifelong dream, so he could stop working construction.
Four more years and I can retire, and then I get my pension. So you know, unless we do $100,000 each comic, I got to get that pension.
Well, after, you know, you could. I'm sure you could continue writing after you get.
Oh yeah,
that'll hold you over.
Sundays is when I write all day on Sundays. I wake up, I do my Sunday comics video, and then I have breakfast with the wife, and then I write all day. So because my job is just so strenuous, and I come home tired.
Of course, yeah.
And I really don't want to have that foggy mindset when I'm sitting down to write. I want to have clarity. You know what I mean? So I turned out Sunday. I you know, and I know all the professional writers. You got to write every day. Well, you work construction, you know. You tell me.
Yeah, I know. I know a little bit something about
You
that.
said you're a blue collar guy too, right?
Yeah.
It's my first time seeing Renzo's artwork. Looks great. Reminds me of George Perry. Yeah, that's what I said when I discovered Renzo. He did. Why can't I think of the comic Theosophy by your boy Zach? He also did Coney Waves for Mark Polton. He did a couple of Avatar Press comics, mainstream comics. But he said the pay was nothing, and they kind of screwing him on taking forever to pay. I tell you, man, Renzo. He messages me. Check this out. Do you approve? Yes. Okay, cool. Boom. I pay him. You know what I mean? There will never be a problem. If don't make a comic book if you can't pay your talent immediately. Sorry, sacred. That's one of the things in my industry. If you don't pay us, we'll quit and go on because we'll go to another construction company immediately. So you pay is
and
sacred.
most likely get paid more too.
Yeah. So Friday, 6 o'clock in the morning, that money's in my account. So yeah, and Renzo did Thomas Valiant. When I saw Renzo, because Thomas Valiant was the first time I saw him doing legit superheroes, and I was like, oh my god, this is so good. So I contacted RJ. He said, would you mind if I asked Renzo? And he's like, yeah, Renzo's got kids. He's got to pay his bills. So I'm with Renzo till the wheels come off. Hey, I Drive Pro.
I Drive Pro with the $20 super chat. That ain't cheap.
It
says, where's my check? Where's my check?
Is that an in joke that I don't know?
It's an inside joke. Yeah, it's this thing. It's this inside joke where people think that I am paid by Eric July to run defense for him on YouTube. So it's inside. That's the inside joke.
Oh.
They think I run defense because I make videos, calling out the BS lies about him and his company and the things he does, which people lie about it all the time, and they think I get paid. They think I get paid. They think Hill the Lord gets paid. They think my other friend LG gets paid. They even think Garfield. I think it was Bruce. It was either Bruce or Garfield. They said one of them gets paid by Eric July to run defense. It's that's the inside joke about it all. Yeah, see right there. So. But thank you for the $20. That ain't cheap.
Yeah,
they think you pay me.
There's your check. There you go.
yeah. I'm gonna be the guy paying the truck, the semi-pro, the semi-truck driver driving the 18-wheeler, make me 6 figures. Yeah, that's the guy I'm paying. Yeah, well, I'm paying that guy. The guy that he drives to New York and he gets, he doesn't like it.
Is that what you do? You're a truck driver?
He's a semi-truck driver. That's why he calls him. That's why he's called I Drive Pro.
Oh, you're a truck driver. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Do you drive construction sites? Maybe I'll see you. Come on my site. Let me know if you're coming to Kennedy Airport. That's where I'm working.
Well, there you go. Well, there you go, Drive.
Yeah.
There you go. He says that he says he always gets stuck. He goes to New York, so.
Yeah, the truck driver delivering pipes today, his truck broke down and he showed up at lunchtime. It's like, oh, God, I took like a bite of my sandwich and then I had to go and unpack this truck. It was like the worst possible. Poor guy, though, was miserable.
There you go.
I don't blame you. Now with that congestion pricing and all these rules, I had guys with me at work. They're like, "Oh, this congestion pricing really." I'm like, you think a tax on the middle class is going to help people? Yeah, okay, good job. You don't think you're going to pay for every one of these trucks that go to construction sites? You don't think it's going to help you? Let's make it more expensive for a deli to make coffee. Okay. I don't know. New York doesn't want regular people in it anymore. I can't wait to get out of here. Good night, everybody. I'm going to bed. I'm getting grouchy.
All right.
Hey guys, thank you so much. This was a lot of fun. Your chat is really active. You guys.
That's the same compliment I got from Vaughn.
You guys are a lot of fun. Yeah.
Like, wow, chat's very.
If you want to come on my channel, I have guests 2 or 3 times a week.
Anytime, yeah.
Yeah, hit me up on direct message. Anybody in the chat wants to come and talk comic books, hit me up in John's Longbox.
John's Longbox on YouTube, right?
And on Twitter, I'm Zentorian 2000, which was one of those auto-generated names, and it sounded cool. And and I got a Roman history degree, so I was like, oh, wow, that sounds pretty cool.
There you go.
So
again, the link to this campaign over on Fund My Comic is pinned at the top of the chat. And thank you all for being here. I appreciate y'all. This was like a very great stream. It was it's not normal type of stream I do, but I do enjoy doing these types of
and I appreciate it, guys.
Streams. And thank you, John, for coming on. I'll see
yeah.
you guys the next time I stream. I think the next time I'm streaming is Sunday. I'll be streaming the Xbox showcase on Sunday at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. See what's going on with all that. Wait. Drive Pro says, Reefer Truck, I refrigerated. I'm going to back this comic just because you know what Taco is.
Oh, wow. Useless information comes through for me finally. Finally.
Quite active indeed for the numbers. The number will only go up. Yes, it will.
I thought that go was great. 2-hit armor class 0. You know, and I Drive Pro, since you seem to be interested in role-playing games, now, first, I have a forum. Remember message boards? I still have an active message board called www.villainsvigilantesforum.com. You could go there, and it's all about my role-playing games and stuff. I have a house rules section, and I'm actually thinking if Heroic Tales does well enough, I might turn it into a role-playing game. You know, just take all my house rules, dump the V&V, and make the Heroic Tales the role-playing game. But that's in the future. That's in the future.
There you go.
If
something might be interested in.
Yeah.
All right, everybody. Yeah. I'll see y'all next time. Like I said, he's gonna go, and I'm gonna log off here since he's gonna go. And like I said, next stream will be Sunday, 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for the Xbox showcase. And I'll see y'all next time. And later.
And thank you for doing this. It was a lot of fun. And thank you guys for backing the book, man. I'm going to try my best to make you guys happy. $10 for a 30-something page comic book. I think it's the best deal in crowdfunding.
Oh yeah, it's better than 40-page comic for 50.
I don't want to hurt.
Or 50-page comic for 40. I think is what it was. All right, everybody. Peace out. Later.
All right. Bye-bye.